you required the thing. I thought of the training is for freshers. I put that was in my mind. That's why I prepared this one.
Yeah. That's
the next
okay.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah. The next thing is process flows, for billing. So if you see this diagram, what is the main transaction in billing? What we are doing, the main transaction in the billing is like invoice. That is also called bill. So yeah, though that bill is coming from different modules or from the external sources, or we can create the bill in online. So when we create the bill from external sources, that is coming through billing interface. Okay, that the technical team will develop the particular interface to load that external file into our Peoplesoft. Once the data is loaded, you need to run one process that populates the billing main tables. Then the bill will be created, and you can see that particular bill on standard billing page. Once you created the bill, the next step is you should validate that particular bill. Validation in the sense all the entries whatever you created is correct or not. So for the customer, see here we are creating the bill means the bill is creating for the customer. So the customer, whether the customer like the bill have correct payment terms or not. Like, so the customer profile we have given the payment terms is net 30, but in the billing it is showing us net 20, net 25. Like all these things we should be validated before finalizing that particular bill. Once the validation is done, that means we are going to finalize that bill. Finalize in the sense like the bill is finalized and is going to send to the customer. Okay. When we are going to send the customer, like the customer will send it to email or else any other transfer process. So the bill is finalized and it's sent to the customer. The same invoice, like adjustment is there here. Like if you enter the wrong amount on the bill, you can create adjustment invoice for that particular bill, and again you need to validate that particular one. Okay. So in the Peoplesoft, single action invoice job and reprint all those things, right?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Once the validation process is done, the next is finalization. So before running the finalization, the bill status should be in ready status. Okay. When it wasn't ready only, then the finalization process will be pick that particular bill. Once the bill is picked by there is one big job in the Peoplesoft billing, that is single action invoice job. That picks your bill that has ready status and send that the bill can be sent to general ledger, accounts receivables, and it runs a process currency conversion if involves if any currency exchange is required, and also the same bill will be extracted. Why it is extracted means to send the invoice to the customer, normally it's a PDF invoice, PDF format. So like crystal reports will be there or XMLP. So when you send that particular, like when you generate that particular PDF, that PDF information, like whatever the invoice data will be coming from the extract tables, not billing tables. See here we have to different tables like billing header table, billing main tables. Those are billing header. One second. So like billing header, billing line. But our PDF invoice, our crystal invoice won't pick the data from these tables. There's the extract tables will be there in the Peoplesoft. Generated from extract tables. So that's why when you run the single action invoice job, the first thing that is done is finalization. The second thing is extraction. The third thing is generate PDF and other currency conversion process and other than this currency conversion payroll process, there is one more thing, load AR entries. This will create pending items. Okay, do you know pending item? What is pending items?
Yeah.
And the load
Yeah.
AR.
Yeah. Invoice converting, sending invoice to the receivables, right?
Right. Next one, generate accounting entries. This the job of the single action invoice job is this. It will process all these things. So the main transaction, like the main duty of this billing is just generate the invoice to the customer. That's it. It doesn't have any payment related things. Okay. Once your invoice is generated, the next step is you are going to receive the payment from the customer. Okay. But when you are receiving the payment from the customer, then how could the customer, like we send the invoice to the customer, but customer, like we send the invoice of $1,000, then customer pays $1,000, then how could Peoplesoft receivables know that customer owe to the company rupees $1,000? That for this purpose, we need to have a copy of the particular invoice in the receivables. That particular invoice here is called as pending item. The main term is item. Okay. Item. But when it is coming from the item, like billing, it is called first. Its status is pending item. That is, it is not recognized to get a payment from the customer. Pending item is not recognized. So once you run the pending, like AR update, there's an important process in accounts receivable, that is AR update. When you run this particular AR update, that particular pending item will be converted as an item with open status. So that means this particular item now recognized as getting payment from the customer. So when the item is open status, its time will be started, like its time when it is from the open status, its time will be considered in the aging pages. Like for example, if the item is started from today, then its aging is started. Like for example, for the customer, the payment terms is net 30 days. If even he is not paying the money in 30 days, it comes under the first category, 01 or something like that, whatever we set up in the system. So whenever the item is open in the system, we need to apply the payment for the system. Like item 1 is there in the Peoplesoft system, it's $1,000. So customer pays $1,000. Then we apply the payment $1,000 to this particular item account. Both should be gets cancelled and becomes 0. Then the item status becomes close. Okay. But there's one more thing here. We apply the payment. Then to keep track of the payment information, one payment entry will be inserted into PS_item_activity. Okay. These are the main table when you created item. These are the main table. When the pending item is converted as an item, these tables will be populated with these items. Okay. Each table will have one row for the invoice. One row for item. but these are different. This accounting entries, so it may have the multiple rows because debit entries, credit entries will be there. Those will have this one. In the first, this row will be having one status will be there, the important fields, and balance amount. Now balance amount is $1,000. When you apply the payment, it becomes 0, and its status will be 0. Closed. Okay. In the same way, the item activity table will be there. It has initially one row, item details row, and when you apply the payment, it will have second row with the payment details, payment row. Once you apply the payments, you need to run the AR update again, and once you run the AR update, all the entries will be generated, accounting entries will be generated into PS underscore item displayed. That's the process. Apart from this, we can have the pending items. Here the problem is, see, here the single entry we discussed about you. If the amount is 1,000, then we paid 1,000 rupees. But what happened? What about it? The amount is 1,000. What about the customer pays 900 rupees? Our customer pays $1,200. And what about this? There are different entry types in it. Entry types. What are different entry types you have? One is invoice will be there, credit memo will be there, like debit memo will be there, write off, on account, and any others, Apart from this, discounts, it's an important thing. For example, you generated the invoice to the customer. After the, you forgot to mention the discount in this. Okay. Actually, the invoice amount is $1,000, but you have to give the discount as $200 for the customer. So the invoice amount, the PDF invoice should have the amount of rupees $800 only. But you say you forgot to deduct the discount and you send the $1,000 invoice. It is coming from the billing. Okay, you created a billing for 1,000 and you finalize it. You send to the customer, and now you are in, like, that particular bill is in account receivables. Now you are going to create the discount. Okay, how? But discount you can do it two ways. One is, again you go to billing and again you create one more bill for discount amount, and you can again run all the process. Instead of doing that one, you will have a entry type as discount in the receivables. Okay, you can directly create a discount here and apply to that particular item. That is a one more entry type. There are different entry types in that, but just I'm explaining sample thing, the discount. What is on account? On account in the sense, like, actual bill is 1,253. Okay, or else 1,200. So the customer pays $1,500. Then the remaining 300 will be credited into customer account. That customer account will also, that is called on account. Every company, every organization will have account for the customer. When he pays, then those extra amount will be credited into his account. So in the next time when he purchases the goods, okay, at that time this amount will be added to him. That is an account.
Okay.
And the important thing is write-off. What is write-off? For example, here there are two write-offs will be there. One is over write-off, under write-off. The bill amount will be for $1,010. The customer pays $1,005. Okay. So remaining $5 he has balance actually, but he has to pay $5. But for the simple, like, minimum $5, the company won't ask you again and again, because as he is a customer to you. So in these scenarios, those particular $5 will be write-off. That's an underpayment. If it is pays over, then those are the overpayment, over write-offs. Okay. So here if you see this particular yeah, you see the invoices will be coming from the billing. Kumar, we are
Yeah.
calling as the invoice and item. What is
Okay.
the do you know what is the difference between these two, invoice and item?
Invoice and item. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the
Um, item
yeah,
is
so
like
what is it?
after running the AR update, it becomes item, right? So before
Yes,
invoice, yeah, invoice is like we send it to customer, or then
right.
we send it to the AR receivables as a pending item. Then if you
Yes,
run that all the pre-process item, right? Yeah, pending
yes,
item and item. Then we run
right.
the billing process. Oh, okay. AR update.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, not AR update. What is that? What the process is?
single action,
Yeah,
single action invoice job from the billing.
yeah.
So that's a one way of, that's a correct actually. The difference between these two. There is a one more difference is if you see invoice in the billing, you will have invoice header and invoice line information.
Mm-hmm.
This is a detailed information like so and so customer had purchased this many of items, 2 mouse, 2 laptops, 2 keyboards. This a detailed information will be appeared on the invoice.
Mm-hmm.
But coming to in the invoice, one mouse is $20 and 4 mouse we purchased. For 5 into 2, $100 will be the invoice amount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you see the invoice, you will be clearly known that oh, I purchased $5, 5 mouse. That's my amount is $100. But when you come to the accounts receivable, we don't have detailed information here.
Mm-hmm.
We just have item. That's it. Now it's not a item header. It's not an item line. Item, the balance amount, $100. That's it. There's a one more difference from this.
It doesn't have
Okay. Yeah.
details. Item doesn't have
Yeah. No.
details.
It doesn't
Only
have details.
what is the how do you tie
Header amount.
to billing like a bill? Is it with
Right. Right.
a
Yeah.
number, item, item ID?
Yes. Yeah. Item ID and invoice amount becomes balance amount in the yeah. It doesn't have item lines and this many of mostly the customer purchase. Those type of information will be appeared in the receivables.
Mm-hmm.
So here the entries will become coming from the billing. Those are first entered into the pending item tables. Okay. And we came from manual processing in the sense like I said na, discounts, write-offs, cutbacks, all those things will be manually entered. See, you are entering manually in the sense those are entered as a pending item again and again running the entry. And deposits payment tables. See, I'll tell you next. So
But
once the pending item tables are
when is the build AR? Build AR runs after billing, right? To load into the build AR.
yes, right, yes. Once bill is finalized, we can run the build AR 01 or something like this because it will create a pending items. So once the item entry is in group control and pending item tables, you run the AR update. It will be converted as item and you apply the payments to a particular item. That's the one process. And this is a manual creation. But all the times it won't happen. Okay. We can apply the payments in receivables in 2 ways. One is payment predictor process, one is manual process, that is through worksheet. Okay. Now I told you $1,000 applied to the particular invoice, that is through worksheet. Okay. But you like lot of customers. We have a lot of customers, right, for our company. So you send the goods to all the customers, and the customers will pay the amount in the particular account for the bank. For this company will have an account in the bank. That's the Lockbox. You might have heard about this term. Lockbox account.
Mm-hmm.
So all those deposits will be like all those payments will be attached to that particular Lockbox, and bank sends that particular file to the Peoplesoft. That is a deposit file. Those deposit file, the items will be in the Peoplesoft. The deposit file will be coming from the bank. So you load the deposit file into the group control again and run the error update. And when you run the error update, that particular payments will be applied to the items, and it gets closed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Okay,
the receivables.
and where do you the slide, where do you like if you want to like what are the accounts at this stage in billing to AR? What are the accounts affected? Like when you run the general accounting entries,
Okay.
you can run the accounting entries for billing, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Then what are
We
the
run,
accounts? Yeah. What are the accounts changed in GS? Like if you run the accounting entries, then you process the general generator, and
yes.
load into
Yes, yes.
the ledger table. What are the
Right, right.
accounts affected there at this stage?
Accounts, you mean pay accounts? You mean accounts? Accounts you are asking? Account
Mm.
names?
Yeah, accounts. What
Like
kind
those
of
are,
account?
yeah.
What kind of
Those are
accounts?
like depends upon, yeah. Those are depends upon our setup, no? Like, for example, if you create select the expense account, those will be entered into expense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are having different accounts which needs to be set up in the system.
But the billing stage, what is that account? Is it when the bill is like sending to somebody, right? Is it
Yes,
like a kind
it's
of
like a revenue.
revenue, right?
Yeah, yeah, revenue account. Because we are getting amount now. That's why
Mm.
we will go to the revenue account. Those revenue account numbers will be set in our system.
Okay.
And the next thing is payables. Uh, the payables, like here in the accounts receivable point of view, we are receiving the amounts, we are receiving the payments from the customers.
Mm-hmm.
But in the payables, we are paying amount to the other person. That person is called vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the billing, before creating the bill, we need to have a customer set up in our system.
Okay.
The same way, in the payables, before we are paying the amount, we need to have a vendor set up. Okay? And the main entry here is called, the main transaction in accounts payable is voucher. When you are creating the voucher, your amount is going out. Okay? And
yeah,
yeah, because payables. So here you are entering, the voucher will be entered. It may be coming from the other modules or from the external systems or online you can enter. Okay. Once the voucher is created, the next step is you need to approve. You need to approve that particular voucher. So here in the systems, the approval may be in different ways. Like for example, in your company, if the manager is only one, then you may not have the approval of flow. You simply have a direct approval. But in some companies, the managers will be hierarchically different. 4, 5, 6 managers will be there. At this time, you should create one workflow to trigger the approval process. Okay. Once you created the voucher, the next step is like you need to validate this matching. Matching process should be applied. What is matching process? Matching process in the sense, for example, whatever you enter the information on the voucher is correct or not, simply. For example, PO is, for example, one order is created, okay, to purchase 4 laptops. Each laptop is what is called $100, for example, just example, okay. And in the same order, there is one more line, 5 desktop, it is $80. The 400 this becomes is a 400. Yeah. Overall amount is 800. Okay. Now this order is coming into accounts payable. Okay. This is converted as a voucher. So when you run the matching process, whatever voucher details have, it will compare, it will matches with this PO, this order. Both will be checked whether the amount is 800 or not, whether they ordered four laptops or 3 laptops. Like everything will be matches. If the matching process is success, then the next step is we need to apply the payments, like voucher posting. Sorry, there's one more thing. Voucher posting will be there, like to affect these voucher entries into the general ledger accounting, and this will be generated. And the voucher, once the voucher is posted, you need to you are going to paying particular vendor, paying for the particular vendor. So here the voucher payment will be 2 ways. One is the same as manual process. But there's one name for this manual process. Do you know?
Manual process. Express invoice.
Sorry.
Express invoice. Express payment. Okay.
Yeah. The second one is important, pay cycle. So it is an individual payment. Individual vendor payment, not individual voucher payment. For example, you have 10 vouchers for the vendor, one vendor. Okay. Now we are going to pay 5 vouchers for this particular vendor. You can do by using express payment. Pay cycle is nothing but, for example, it's a date. It will be running based on the payment date. Like for example, like January 10th to February 10th. That's the pay cycle date. So you should run when you after giving this date, when you run the pay cycle, all these vouchers should be within these dates will be paid. There's a pay cycle rule. Once you run the payments and everything, the next is payment posting. Payment posting. Why we need to pay? Why we need to pay the post the payment? Means the whatever payment entries generated, those will be affected into the GM. For this purpose, we need to post the payment. That's the payable process. Okay. Mostly the payables, the payables for the vouchers will be, you can enter online, or else in the third party system you will get. As you are a technical person, so you might have aware of these vouchers, how the vouchers are coming from the external system. You might have developed a lot of interfaces to learn them. And the last thing is general ledger. So it's it's a heart of the system, generally called as a heart of the financial systems. So where whatever entries you are generated in the individual modules, all these finally will be entered into the general ledger by running the journal generator process. Okay. So when you run the journal generator process, how the entries will be picked, from where they are picked. For example, we are run the journal generator process for accounts payable module. Okay. Then from where these entries will be picked. In the the GL, we can enter journal in different ways. Like you can load spreadsheet journal load, and flat file. You can load the journals from flat file. You can get the journals from the other modules. These modules are called subsystem modules. What are these modules? Accounts payable, accounts receivable, billing, all these modules. From these modules we are getting journal. Those are called subsystem journals. Now you run the journal generator process for accounts payable. You know, every module will have one accounting entry table. For example, if you come to billing, we have billing ACCT underscore accounting entry table like this. For voucher, for payable, we have voucher accounting line. for receivables item underscore DST. Like we have these tables. So when you run the journal generator process for billing, the whatever the entries in this accounting entries table, all these entries will be picked and generated as journals. Okay. Based on the accounting definition you selected when you run the journal generator. Okay, because when you enter into the journal generator page, you will see accounting entry definition. Okay, where you can select those definition names and run the journal generator process. So those its corresponding entry tables will be, whatever entries will be there, you can get those as a journals. And once you generate the journals, all the journals will be in the journals tables. Like journal underscore header, journal underscore line tables are like. After that again you will run the, now these are in journal tables, not in ledger. To enter them into the ledger table, you need to post the journals. Okay. When you post the journals, all those will be entered into the ledger table. That's finally in the ledger table. From the ledger table, we have a lot of envision reports. All those envision reports will be generated the data from this ledger table. Balance sheets, revenues and expenses, and assets and liabilities. And everything will be coming from this ledger table. Okay. That is like a high level process and what is going on the individual modules.
But what about do you know anything about project costing?
No, there is no project costing in our modules.
Oh, only project. Is a separate thing. Okay, only billing, and here is billing, receivables, and GL. Billing, GL payables, billing, and the pay receivables. Only 4 modules.
Yes. Do you need any other?
Yeah, maybe. And I'll check. Let me think about it. And okay, now 4 applications, right? Okay. And
if you want, I can proceed with a PO as well, purchasing.
Purchasing, okay.
Yeah.
But what I need is like, how do you only take the classes, right? Because what do you do? What is your availability? Are you working somewhere, or are you anytime?
I will be available after 7 p.m. IST.
After 7 IST. Only in the evenings? 7 p.m. IST.
In the mornings, only max in the evenings only. In the evenings, night I can able to available like on the 11 or up to 12 o'clock as well. But in the morning, even I am available, I have to go early in the office. That's what.
Oh, early. You working somewhere?
Yes, I am working somewhere in the Hyderabad only.
Is it in Peoplesoft or working in something different?
No, I am in Peoplesoft only.
Peoplesoft, which company you are working? Okay, that's fine. Sure. Okay, that's fine. But what I need is like I need the transaction flow. I don't want all the whatever we explained. That's enough. That's a good. But hands-on training, you know that, right? If you are working in Peoplesoft, you know that what exactly will get it. Okay. So what are the real-time questions? Like what expense when you done something? What expenses? What are the accounts will be affected? And what are the rows in the GL? Little bit not like overall like
there's a techno-functional level, right?
Yeah. Not like a new guy, like who's learning Peoplesoft like a new, not like a process flows and all those things. No, I want here and that little bit. Okay, I just want to tell you my department. That's what I wanted. I'll ask some questions based on the things, and if you know PO would be good, because with the 4 modules, because process flow comes, it's requisites start from PO, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And That's it. And how do you go always like this, or do you give a system? You guys give a system to me?
No, no, no. Yeah, no, I think seasoft guys will may give a system because I don't explain like in the PPT. It's like a demo. That's what I prepared this one, and
Okay.
everything will be an online. I will create the transaction. I will show you. That's it because
Okay.
I want to
But
create for
do you have a
transaction
system?
for
They install the system for me. Do they install for system
yeah. I
for me?
think they will install. Yeah, they may be installed. You will talk to the Samir or whatever guy
Yeah.
you are going to
Okay.
interacting.
Okay. Sure. Sure.
One second, Kumar. 1 second. Let me see who is there. Amit.
Yes.
Amit.
Narendra, I am here.
Amit, you